All of our scriptures speak in some manner about the idea of being lost. And in the years before GPS, it was quite easy to be lost. I always assumed that getting lost was some sort of special gift that God had given almost exclusively to me. It would be years before I would realize that Route 128 and 95 were actually the same thing, and I had lived in Massachusetts my entire life. I suppose that is why I loved the Exodus story so much. After all, being lost for 40 years seemed normal to me. Today, we might be able to chart our location anywhere with the touch of a button, but it also should be mentioned that we also live in a world where contestants on Jeopardy cannot recite the Lord's Prayer. We still, I suppose, have the ability to be lost in some ways, but today it's more about who we follow and what we value that seems to be the thing that gets us lost. We can follow the world with all the beauty that comes with it. We can follow God. We can choose, it seems, in this world to be lost, and we can choose to be found. In the Exodus story, God has led his people out of slavery. He has fed them with manna in the desert, as we heard last week, even though they did not know what it was. There in Egypt, they had been held as slaves, both in body and in mind. And God gives to them complete freedom. And in return, his holy people respond with anger and frustration. They miss the food. They miss the neighborhoods. They miss the style and the pomp, the glamour of Egypt, of the Egyptian way of life. The allure of the word is so present in this story, not unlike today when you think about it. We too are slow to learn, but God is patient, gentle, and kind. And in all their imperfections, and of course in all of ours, he says to us, "Therefore, if you hearken to my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my special possession, dearer to me than all other people. Though all the earth is mine, you shall be to me a kingdom of priests, a holy nation." God hopes that you and I and all the world will choose to be found by him. You know, sometimes I wonder as I read the Exodus story what God must think, how he must react to us when we choose to be lost in this world, to go at our own way without him. And I think to myself, is he angry? Is he frustrated? I suppose that probably would be my reaction. I've done all of this for you, given so much, so many blessings, and yet you choose to turn away. Well, you reap what you sow, I might say to God's people. We've all heard the phrase at some point in our life, "You've made your bed, now lie in it." But it is important, however, for us to hear truly how God reacts to us choosing to be lost. Matthew says in the gospel that at the sight of the crowds, Jesus' heart was moved with pity for them because they were troubled and abandoned like sheep without a shepherd. And what does God do? He sends us help in the love of the disciples and the apostles. That is how God reacts to our desires for this world. That is how God reacts, out of love and not out of anger. Today, we find it so easy to get lost. But it is truly important for us to remember how God still loves us and that he still seeks us in our imperfections. Not only us, but the entire world. Whether we are lost on jeopardy or lost in the desert, God seeks you and me and gives to us this wonderful mission to help others in this world to find him.